Hey everybody, it's Dr. Reiser. If you like what you see in our videos, make sure you click subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future videos about functional medicine, nutrition, and tips on how to reclaim your health the easy way with Functional Health Center of the Carolinas. Happy 2020 everybody, it's Dr. Reiser. It is a new year and that means this is our first Whiteboard Wednesday of the year. I'm very excited about this one because if you're on my Instagram, if you're on my Facebook page right now, I can guarantee you're looking for videos about one subject, weight loss. How do I lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds? Well, if you know me and if you know our clinic, we're not all about the gimmicks. We're not about tips and tricks that are going to make you lose 10 pounds in 5 days. But we are going to talk about something that is going to make or break your weight loss efforts this year. And if you don't fix this, then you're going to plateau. You'll never get down to the weight you ever wanted to be at. So we're going to talk about a hormone today called leptin, what it does, and at the very end of this, we're going to have 7 things that you must do to make sure this guy does its job and allows you to lose weight. So let's get into this. Leptin, what does it do? Where is it from? How does it work? You know, some people have never heard of it. Most people in my office that come through as patients have never heard of this hormone. Leptin is something that's going to control a few things in your body. Number 1, it's going to control whether or not you should be eating or should not be eating, so telling you whether or not you want to be eating. Number 2 and really 3 is a combination, the amount of fat in your body as well as the amount of energy storages and expenditure. So should you be burning energy? Should you be ramping your energy up? Or should you be storing it? So that's what this thing is going to control. And obviously those few things that I just mentioned, you can see why this is important with weight loss, weight gain, maintaining weight even. But if we're going to talk about fat loss today, we've got to talk about this guy. And there's certain things that you're doing that are making you more resistant. Yep, and you heard that right. So it's the same thing as insulin or anything else you have in the body as a hormone. Any hormone you can become resistant to. Most people that are obese or even have excess 10, 15 pounds that they just can't get to budge, it's probably because this hormone, well, you're resistant to it. So where does it come from? It's coming from your fat cells. Your fat cells actually produce this hormone and some of your small intestine. But your fat cells will produce this hormone in response to how much fat there is. It's kind of weird to say that, but yeah, it's cyclical. So let's talk about an easy example or a mechanism to see how it interacts in your body, okay? All right, we're going to draw a little guy here. And let's say this is you, and let's say you're at your ideal weight. You're happy about it, yay, we're great. But let's say you start to eat more, okay? You increase your eating, which means you increase your calories, which means now you've increased your fat. Okay, we've all been there, we've eaten a lot, and maybe we've put on about 5 pounds. Well, your body understands that that extra 5 pounds is not supposed to be there. So because you have these excess fat cells, and even the fat cells that you had before, they're going to start to produce leptin. So now you've got an increase of leptin in your body, and leptin is going to go to your hypothalamus, which is right in your brain here, and it's going to talk to it. There's receptors on your hypothalamus, the leptin will float up there and it will latch on, and now you have leptin sensitivity. This hormone latches onto the hypothalamus and it says, hey, I know we've gained 5 extra pounds, we need to get back to homeostasis. So what will occur then is your hypothalamus then says, okay, well, we've got to do this. Stop eating. So it's going to make you want to decrease the amount of food that you eat, and you're not even going to realize it. The other thing it's going to do is it's going to increase your energy. So it's actually going to speed up the metabolism a little bit so that you can make sure that those fat cells will shrink down and you'll lose the excess fat that you gain. You'll lose that 5 pounds. Once those 2 things occur, you go back to homeostasis. Leptin then goes back down to its normal level. Okay? So this is the easiest example. If you overeat, you gain weight, your fat cells release leptin. Leptin goes to your hypothalamus, tells your body, hey, stop eating as much. Let's burn more energy because that energy burns fat. All right. So let's say you're back here again. And let's say that you continue to just eat and eat and eat and eat. Because, let's say you were at a restaurant, you ate you ate lasagna and then the dessert cart rolls by and you see, oh gosh, that pie looks good, let's eat that as well. More of a reward system rather than just being hungry. And so maybe you do this and there's years and years and years of you just overeating, eating too many calories. What will then occur is because you're constantly producing leptin in response to this, we will become leptin resistant. And it happens the same way like we do with insulin resistant and type 2 diabetics. The more insulin you produce, the more resistant that you become over time because it's chronic. With this leptin, your leptin is going to this hypothalamus, and eventually the hypothalamus is going to say, whoa, 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 can't deal with it. So now the leptin resistance is there, and it's almost as if your body is not producing any leptin. Well, when your body realizes that, it needs to make more of it, or it thinks it needs to make more of it. Well, where does leptin come from? Fat cells. So when you become resistant to leptin, you will produce more fat cells in response because your body thinks that it needs more leptin. So this is when the weight gain starts. All right, so that's how it works, and that's how you can get caught in this little catch-22 here where leptin is beneficial, but the more that you're releasing to help your body get back to a homeostatic weight, the more resistant you're going to become. So how do we fix this? And this is overlooked in all of your little, Weight Watchers and all of these clinics that are going to make you burn through 30 pounds in 1 month, is because they're not changing the leptin sensitivity. And then what will happen, and you see this all the time, is that once you are done with this severe calorie restriction and eating a certain way, you gain the weight back. Those fat cells come back because your body thinks it needs this leptin. So how do we fix this? Here's the 7 things that we're talking about. How do you maintain your sensitivity to leptin? How do you get your leptin sensitivity back? Well, leptin is driven by inflammation. So there's a few things that happen in the body when leptin resistance starts to occur, and that's when pro-inflammatory cytokines are produced in the body. That's what we don't want, okay? We don't want fat cells to increase as well. So here's the 7 things that we need to do. So first and foremost, and we've probably heard this a million times, is we want to make sure we can sleep. You have got to sleep. If you do not sleep, what will occur if you get less than adequate sleep, instead of producing leptin, which is going to tell your body to maintain an adequate weight, you're going to produce a hormone called ghrelin. So ghrelin is going to make you want to eat more. And that's why when we undereat, we tend to eat more. So number 1, sleep. Number 2, what they've shown all the time as far as leptin resistance in laboratory and clinical studies is a lack of omega-3s. And obviously, if we're talking about inflammation that's starting this leptin resistance, we need omega-3s. You can do that in supplement form. You can do it by eating more fish, seafood. We have to get this for the anti-inflammatory effect. Number 3, gut. What is your gut doing? They have shown time and time again that you have underlying gut infections, and we've talked about stool analyses all the time in all of my videos. If you have underlying infections, that causes cytokine release, that causes inflammation, that causes leptin resistance. And that's why everybody that is obese and you hit that barrier to your weight loss, you have to get your gut checked. If you have an underlying infection, you're causing leptin resistance. So we've got 1, 2, 3 here, gut infections. 4, you want to make sure that we're eating protein for breakfast. Protein for breakfast starts up leptin sensitivity, okay? Here's one thing you do not want to do in the morning is eat cereal. When you're eating cereal, you're actually ingesting something called lectins. Sounds similar, and that is because it is. Lectins will actually go out and go to the receptor sites of leptin, and it will basically latch on, and then you become leptin resistant. So if you've ever heard of anybody losing weight on cereal, good luck. So this is what's happening. No cereal for breakfast. Start out the day with some protein. Eggs are the best. Get some protein, that gets the sensitivity started. We have number 5 here. When you're talking about foods as well, fructose comes to mind. So when you've seen, or if in any clinical study, what they've seen is high fructose amounts causes leptin resistance. So fructose, what is that? That's a sugar. You've seen it in our videos before. So fructose is more or less from fruits. And what I always tell people as a good average, if you're watching your fructose levels and as far as your diet is concerned, have 10 grams of fructose or less for your day. Okay, 10 grams or less. And basically, to give you an idea, a banana is about 7 grams, give or take, a medium-sized banana. But the big one, if you hear obviously the word fructose, you're thinking high fructose corn syrup. Eliminate high fructose corn syrup from your diet. It's almost in every processed food, and we know processed foods are inflammatory. Ding, ding, ding. Pro-inflammatory cytokines, leptin resistance. There you go. Number 6, grain products. Now, obviously, this one's a little controversial, but I like to take them out of put them in a weight loss regimen for most people, depending on what we've got going on elsewhere disease-wise. But grains are inflammatory. They produce pro-inflammatory cytokines, which, as we know again, are going to cause leptin resistance symptoms in your body, causing you to gain weight. So the 7th one is not really anything that you can do. So obviously this is a lot to accomplish, okay? You want to make sure you're sleeping well. You want to make sure, you're not having your ghrelin levels go up. You have to maintain your leptin levels. Get your omega-3s in. That's very easy to do. You can take it in a capsule form. You can have shellfish or seafood. You can do gut protocols. So do a stool analysis, have us look at it. We can tell you what exactly you need to do as far as underlying infections of yeast, parasites, bacteria. Protein for breakfast, no cereal for breakfast. Fructose, fruits, 10 grams of fructose or less. Make sure you go online, and if you're doing this, piece together all your fruits to make sure you're not going over that. Obviously, high fructose corn syrup you want to eliminate. 6, grain products, take those out. Your breads, pasta, cereal, rice, oatmeal, all those things, at least for a period of time to get your body back to homeostasis. And the 7th thing that I always give my patients, and it's a phenomenal product, is this one. We've talked about it before. Number 7, Leptin Manager. And I've got it right here. So Leptin Manager, we've talked about it in a previous video. It is a supplement from Zymogen. So what you have in this is a very important compound, glycosaminoglycans, okay? GAGs, very difficult to explain to you guys, but basically GAGs are shown in people to at least in clinical studies with either mice or individuals in human trials, to make your body not produce these cytokines, and it also stops your body from producing fat, so adipogenesis. So this helps your body become more leptin sensitive. And really, I've taken this before. It's helped really control my appetite through the day. That's one thing that I struggle with for sure. And just one of these capsules in the morning for the rest of the day, it basically makes me eat an adequate amount. I don't tend to overeat like I used to. So taking this supplement is something that I always have patients do if we're going to start off and get them going on any kind of leptin protocol, basically, which is what you want for any type of weight loss, weight loss route. I see a lot of these clinics around here, and I see a lot of clinics, through the United States. It's that, in 1 month we lost this, and you're on diuretics and all these things, but really, the underlying root cause of a lot of people's weight problems are metabolic issues, hormonal issues, and leptin is the biggest one. So hopefully through this 12-minute little session I did here today, it's one of our longer Whiteboard Wednesdays, but I think it's an important one because obviously January, like I said, everybody's reaching for weight loss, but if you don't have your leptin levels at a adequate amount or at a level to which you're not resistant, you have to have that leptin sensitivity to help your body burn energy, keep you eating the correct amount through the day, and doing all 7 of these things is very important. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, figuring out what diet works for you and, working through any other comorbidities you have, if you have diabetes or adrenal gland issues, but this is the first stop for you if you want to lose weight. So look at the caption. We're going to have some